It's Linda Cobb, and you're talking dirty with the Queen of Clean. Do you have dirt, stink, mess cleaning frustration? Do you dread cleaning? If so, boy, are you in the right place. Cleaning may never be your personal joy, but I can show you how to clean smarter, not harder, and get out of the house faster. So let's jump right in and get started. It's Linda Cobb, and you are talking dirty with the Queen of Clean. On today's show, we're going to talk about the toilet. And I have got some amazing tips for you today. First of all, how do you get rid of that ring that's in the toilet that is so hard to get out? I'll tell you how to do it quickly and easily, and an amazing way to take care of a clogged toilet without ever calling a plumber. And believe me, I'm an expert. I have grandchildren. I know about clogged toilets, and you will too by the time we're done. Before we get started, I want to let you know about my Facebook group, Queen of Clean Insiders. It's my private group where we all talk dirty to each other. Sounds like fun, right? And it is. We share personal stories, tips, and tricks with each other. And you have my royal invite. Join us today at Queen of Clean Insiders on Facebook. Now, let's get started. Whether you call it the toilet, the commode, the john, the potty, the loo, the latrine, or even the throne, which I have a couple of those in my house myself, I want to give you some quick tips about things you may not know about the toilet. First of all, every time you flush the toilet, water and, stuff sprays out of the toilet and lands on surfaces all around the bathroom. So every time you flush, make sure you close the lid on the toilet, because otherwise it's a real ew. And what about that toilet bowl brush? You should clean it, shouldn't you? I mean, you're using it in the toilet and it gets pretty dirty. So here's an easy way. First of all, just prop it between the seat and the bowl and spray it down with rubbing alcohol. Let it sit about 10 minutes and then go ahead and store it. And about once a week or every other week, make sure you clean the toilet bowl brush holder with white vinegar. Rinse it with a hose, not in the sink, please, and dry it and put it back. Now, let's talk about the plunger real quick, too. Now, the plunger, it gets in the toilet and it's not in the pleasant circumstances. So you want to make sure that you clean it. So what you're going to do is when you're done using it, sit it back in the toilet and flush the toilet a couple of times. Let that water rinse that plunger. Spray it with some disinfecting spray and then stand it in a plastic bag, a grocery bag, or whatever kind you have. And that will keep it from spreading germs all over. Now, let's talk about some quick and easy ways just to clean the toilet on a regular basis. First of all, one that I've talked about for years and years and years is using Tang in your toilet. Now, I know some of you are saying, what the heck is Tang? Tang is an orange-flavored breakfast drink. And, the astronauts even took it to the moon. And they didn't take it there just because it tasted good for breakfast. They took it there because it's a great way to clean the toilet. You put a couple teaspoons of Tang in the toilet, you let it sit for a while, and go back whenever you think of it, or leave it overnight even. And you're going to give it a good swish and a flush, and the toilet's going to be clean. And you know what the best thing about it is? If the dog drinks out of the toilet, or heaven forbid the kids, the worst thing that can happen is orange lips. It's not dangerous like most toilet bowl cleaners. Well, what else can you use? You can use denture cleaning tablets. Now, I buy those at the dollar store because they're, let's face it, $1. I drop a couple of those into the toilet, walk away, let them fizz. They're cleaning the porcelain because that's what they're meant for, to clean porcelain dentures. When you go back, swish, flush, and you're clean. Now, if you feel like you really need to get deep in there and clean, you can use Barkeeper's Friend. And I know you've heard me talk about that a lot. It's a cleanser, but it's a mild pumice cleanser, so it doesn't scratch. Now, you can buy that at grocery stores, hardware stores, home centers, big box stores, anywhere like that. It's in a gold and blue can. And what else can you use it on? Well, you can use it on your cooktop. You can use it on your sinks. You can use it any place in the bathroom because it doesn't scratch, and it really is amazing. Now, let's get to that toilet ring. I get more questions about that toilet ring than anything else. It's black or it's blue or it's pink, and it just won't scrub off. So here's what you need to do to get rid of it. First of all, you're going to shut the water off to the toilet tank. Now, that's over to the side or behind the toilet. There's a knob. Close it. Then you'll flush the toilet, and almost all the water will go down and it won't come back in. And that's important because that's what makes it easy to clean it. Then you can sprinkle in some 20 Mule Team Borax, which is in the laundry aisle. It's a laundry additive and a natural cleaner. And it's made from boron, which is a mineral found in nature. So it's safe and natural. Or you can use your barkeeper's friend that we just talked about. And you're going to take a piece of fine drywall sandpaper. Now, fine drywall sandpaper looks like window screen. Cut a small piece off, and you'll take that small piece of sandpaper and rub that ring. It will rub it right off. When you're done, turn the water back on, swish and flush, and you're through. Now, a lot of you are saying, why use the sandpaper? Why not use a pumice stone? Well, I don't want to store a pumice stone after I clean my toilet with it. I really don't. So I use the sandpaper, and when I'm done, I toss it so I have nothing dirty that I have to store. And this works beautifully. So remember, make sure you shut the water off at the toilet tank. Flush the toilet, let the water go down, sprinkle in either that borax or the barkeeper's friend, and take that small piece of fine drywall sandpaper and rub that ring. It will take it right out. Now, don't use the drywall sandpaper on any other surface in the bathroom because it can scratch. And also, don't forget, toss that as soon as you're done because it is dirty. Now, there's another way to clean the toilet too, and this is something that I put together a while back because I was looking for something I could have made and on hand that when I'm ready to clean the bathroom, I could grab, toss in the toilet, kind of walk away and come back and scrub a little, and it would clean it. So I came up with my toilet cleaning cubes. Now, this is how I make those. I take 1 cup of baking soda, 1/4 cup of citric acid, 1.5 tablespoons of liquid Castile soap, and then I have to have an ice cube tray or a silicone mold and a large bowl. Now, it's really easy to make. So let me tell you how. First of all, you're going to take that baking soda and the citric acid and mix it together. Now, citric acid you can find where you see canning supplies and that kind of stuff because they use it in canning, especially for pickles. So again, 1 cup of baking soda, 1/4 cup of citric acid, 1.5 tablespoons of liquid Castile soap, and that can be any Castile or, as a lot of you use, Dr. Bronner's. Look for that in drugstores, home centers, anywhere like that. You're going to mix all of those ingredients together really well. Then you're going to push that mix into those ice cube trays and just let them sit until they harden. Once they're nice and hard, pop them out into a plastic bag, and every time you want to clean the toilet, you're going to drop one of those into the toilet and let it dissolve. After it dissolves, you can just take your toilet bowl brush and scrub and then let it sit in the toilet till you flush the next time. It does a great job, and they're so easy to make. And if you're looking for something that imparts a little smell into the bathroom, then you can add some essential oil into it, maybe some orange or some lemon or whatever smell appeals to you. And it will give a fresh smell to the bathroom while you're doing it. Now, one other thing I want to mention to you is when you want to add a little smell to the bathroom, one of the easiest ways to do it is just take some essential oil and shake it onto the toilet paper roll before you put the toilet paper on the roller. There's a cardboard roll in there. You're going to shake in that essential oil and then put it on the roll and let it unroll as you use it. It's going to smell great, and you can use anything that you want. Now, this is the biggie, guys, so pay attention because this is my never fail toilet clog buster. And when I say it's never fail, I mean I've never met a clog I couldn't get rid of. It happens in every home at some point. Perhaps it's even during a big holiday family dinner. The toilet clog, the flush, and the slowly water. It starts to raise up and nothing goes down. This is a never-fail way to break the clog and end the misery, all without calling a plumber. So make sure you keep this idea handy because someday you're going to need it. Now, for a small clog, a couple of good plunges and you're basically on your way. If that doesn't work, though, here is what to do. You're going to heat a gallon, that's 16 cups, of water on the stove over low to medium heat. And use a pot that has 2 handles because you're going to carry that water and you're going to pour it into the toilet. But we'll get back to that. Next, you're going to squirt about a half a cup of liquid dish soap into the toilet. Now, it doesn't have to be a precise measurement. You can't use too much. And it doesn't have to be any special kind. You can pick up a nice big container of dish liquid at the dollar store for $1. I usually keep that on hand. You're going to squirt that into the toilet and just let it sit. More is better than less. So you want to let it sit for about 20 minutes or so. What happens is that soap will sink to the bottom of the toilet and into the clog. It will act as lubrication and also to break things up. And the soap alone may dislodge that clog. Now, you can give it a plunge and see if it will dislodge. But if it doesn't, now's the time we get the water. Remove the pot of water from the stove, but do it before it begins to boil because you'll want to notice bubbles starting to form on the bottom of the pan. So that's hot, but it's not boiling. We don't want to dump boiling water into a cold porcelain toilet. You're going to carefully carry that water in and pour it into the toilet and make sure you don't splash yourself. Just pour it in. If the toilet is close to overflowing, first try to use the plunger after the dish soap and see if it won't work. But add as much of that hot water as you can. Then you're going to plunge the toilet a few more times after pouring in the hot water. If the clog doesn't automatically disappear down the drain, then seal that plunger over the drain hole and push down and pull up on that plunger a few times while you keep that seal going. Now, you can repeat the process at least one more time if it doesn't break it up. And hopefully you won't have to call a plumber. Pretty soon you're going to hear whoosh, and the water's going to start going down the toilet and the clog is going to be gone. All that's left is to clean the toilet and be on your way. So guys, I'm so glad you stopped by today and that we had this time to talk. And I hope if you've got some questions or you have something you want me to cover, maybe you've been wanting to ask me a question for years, go to ask@queenofclean.com. That's ask@queenofclean.com. Send me your message and we will talk about it at a future date here on Talkin' Dirty with the Queen of Clean. So guys, have a great week. And as always, thanks for talking dirty with the Queen of Clean.